Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cutting Trails. Today we're going to be going through Can-Am's and Polaris's 2022 lineup and just our own personal views of it. We don't have any type of connections or anything like that. It's all, our stuff is all hearsay, not promoted. And it's just our personal opinions about what we read online and what we just know from our own experience and other people that we've talked to about it. So we got Shane here. He's more of a Can-Am guy. And we got myself, Brian, and I'm more of a Polaris guy. So Shane did some studying up online about the Can-Am, and I did some studying up on the Polarises.
I think we kind of touched base on all of it.
Yeah, we did touch base. I did sneak over to Can-Am's site and check out what you were looking at so I can get some ammunition.
Right.
So, all right, I guess I'll start it off. So one thing I noticed from 2021 to 2022 models is that Polaris in 2021 had 32 separate vehicles. That, to be fair, that's including the youth side by side all the way up to the four-seaters and everything in between. So that's also counting, you get the Razor, say you get the Razor Pro XP, you can also get a four-seater. So that's how they're adding that up. Well, this year, or this upcoming year in 2022, they're only going to have 22 models.
They discontinued few.
They discontinued a few. One that I noticed was the Velocity, I think is what it was called. And the other one that, from my understanding, is upsetting a lot of people is the Razor Turbo S.
The S series.
That was, I'm surprised they discontinued it. I really am. But then thinking about it in a business model sense, I think they're gonna start pushing the Razor Pro.
I think they wanted to concentrate more on their bigger projects.
Yeah, and I think the Razor Pro is their big project that they want to go to.
I think that's Polaris's flagship.
Yeah, I think that's become Polaris's flagship. Shane, you were telling me a story that you heard about someone ordering a 2021. You want to go and tell that story?
They pre-ordered a 21 S series.
The Turbo S.
The Turbo S, and they what had happened is obviously Polaris quit making that one, so Polaris was gonna move up into the Pro series, which the guy did not want that. He wanted the S series,
which goes back to, as people have commented on my videos before, they hate the look of the Razor Pro XP.
I've heard quite a few people say they didn't like the Pro.
Yeah.
The look of it.
Yeah. So the guy's basically being upgraded. He doesn't want it. He wanted that Turbo S.
He wanted the Turbo S, and I think because he pre-ordered it in 21,
I think
he should be obligated to get that model.
Yeah. I think since he pre-ordered it,
and I think Polaris should have stood behind it and said, "Hey, you pre-ordered it. Here's your machine."
Well, I hope everything works out for him.
Well, the sad part is we'll never know.
Yeah. So to get further in the breakdown of the Polaris 2022 lineup, the trail models, I'm not going to get too in depth with this, but the trail models, they're the same as 2021. The multi-terrain, there's no more Razor XP Turbo S. Or no, there's no more Razor XP Turbo. So, and that's in the multi-terrain. Now, there is absolutely no more wide open category, which is where the Razor Turbo S landed. Yeah. And that's the one they got rid of, and I know it's going to upset a lot of people.
I think it's going to hurt Polaris's market.
It might. I mean, if they didn't come, me personally, if they didn't come out with the Razor Pro XP, I was probably going to get in a Can-Am Maverick.
Yeah, I know you told me that several times.
Yeah, I told you.
You were actually, before they came out with the Pro XP, You were actually looking into the Mavericks.
Yep. Because I wanted to get into the racing aspect of it, and I still like riding trail. And I went with the Pro XB for the fact that it has a shorter wheelbase, and you can really churn it through the trees and the trails. But the Maverick though has a wider wheelbase. It had and a longer wheelbase, and it really sits lower.
Not
Center of gravity for churns.
depending on what Maverick you're talking about.
That is true.
Because they got several models.
Yep. Yeah, man. XDS RR NP OP. I don't. We'll get into that later.
You get the alphabet when you get the Mavericks.
Yeah. You get the alphabet with the Mavericks. But you know what though? I do have to say the Can-Am Maverick though, like what we discussed earlier, is that why they have so many different letters. What you taught me is that
Everybody's
it's
different.
to give different options to the customer. So I mean, there's one model where it's a 64-inch machine,
Yes.
width machine,
Yep.
and it's almost the same machine but just 72 inches.
Yes.
And so they change the lettering. They add a letter or they take out a letter. I don't know what they do, and then they go to the next upgrade machine, which is the turbo, and it's a 64-inch machine, and then they have the turbo 72-inch machine.
And they're all based off of what your riding style is.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, if
and
you're
what
into
you want to
mudding,
do. Yeah.
they change up the tires, the suspension, and
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then slowly you just start upgrading through the suspension and everything.
right.
Yeah, and your travel becomes I think one was 20 inches, and you go up to the next one is 22 inches. So, I mean, I gotta hand it to Can-Am. They really give you options for your riding style, what you want to do.
I think Polaris is letting a lot of people down with the 22 lineup
Okay.
because they took away the S,
Okay.
and they're pushing more on their Pro, pushing more people to go to the Pro,
Mm-hmm.
that's their flagship machine. I understand it, but a lot of people didn't like the looks of the Pro. They wanted the S.
Yeah.
Or the Razor body.
Right. It has kind of a boxy look to it.
It does have a little boxy look. That's one of the reasons I like the Can-Am Mavericks. They're not boxy, they're more slick.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I like the Can-Ams over the Polaris.
Yeah.
Can-Am totally changed their transmission and everything this year too.
Yeah, the roller type of clutch. I don't even know how that thing works now, and I guess they're getting 200 horsepower now.
They're getting 200 horsepower. They were 21. They were getting 192.
Okay.
So them getting 8 more horsepower.
Where'd they get it from? That's the question.
Did they put a bigger turbo on it? They did change up their transmission, which makes me think that could be where they got it.
Okay, but I guess one thing.
Because that's where they.
Are we talking about dynoing on the on a dyno, or are we talking about at the wheel 200 horsepower? I guess is the big question. So that's like they squeaked. Maybe they squeaked it out on the turbo. Maybe they squeaked it out by some little bit of honing of those cylinder walls.
I bet it was more in the transmission because.
You think so?
I think so because that's the biggest change they did on their machine.
All right.
I will give Can-Am that they improved their performance, their horsepower, where Polaris left theirs alone.
Yeah, but also Can-Am is diving into new territory.
They are
with that clutch,
which could cause problems.
It could cause problems later on. So
but you've had your own problems with yours.
Well, my problems were. Were you talking about my turbo?
Yeah.
Okay, so what he's saying is, so Polaris, I got my second letter in, doing a factory recall on my turbo. And from what I understand, talking to Polaris, is that there were about 800 units with this problem that they basically had to recall. That's a lot of units. Well, they didn't have a turbo to replace it right away. So I've been missing my machine for about
month.
Coming up on a month. You know, and I really fell in love with that machine. And we got the race, possibly the race coming up, and a side-by-side show.
Side-by-show?
Yep, side-by-side show, which is, where's that at?
Dayton?
Dayton, Iowa. So, where can they get that information from? What is it?
It's Facebook?
Facebook. So, you know,
I think it's on Facebook under the Midwest.
Midwest
ATV, UTV lovers.
Yeah, I'll get the link and I'll put it in the description for that. If you guys are in the Iowa area, especially around Dayton, come join. You're gonna see us there.
Even if you're not in Iowa, you're more than welcome to come up and show
definitely,
your machine.
Definitely.
Just,
so we got that going on in the race, and I was out for my turbo, and I get to pick it up tomorrow. So they came through.
Yep.
So, and that, you know, I don't, factory defects, I mean,
they're gonna happen.
They're gonna happen. You can look at it in so many ways. You can look at it as a business failure, an engineering failure, or an experimental failure. But one thing I try to look at it is that it's the company owning up to a wrong.
Right.
So they're trying to fix it to save their name. So I don't really hold that against them. Now, if I was out on the trail and my axle broke a week after I got it, that's just poor.
That could be defect though.
That could be a defect. But if you have repetitive just one part breaking over and over and over again, and the company doesn't recall it,
that's obviously a problem.
Then that's obviously a problem. So factory recall, I'm okay with it, but them not having the turbo to replace it right away, you know, that was kind of.
And they grounded you.
Yeah, they grounded me. I was on my ATV, which was all right. Amber wanted to go out for a ride, so we went out and rode our ATVs, which was good. Nice experience that we had.
Yeah, and you need to get the Can-Am out.
Yeah, we need to get the Can-Am out, even though I try to lock it behind closed doors, and so people don't see that there's a Can-Am in the family.
In the garage.
In the garage. So, so all right, back to this list. Man, we get sidetracked quite a bit. That's all right.
It happens.
Yeah. So no wide open category is where I left off at. So that's what knocked out our Razor Turbo S, the 2-seater and the 4-seater. And then we get into the 4-seater, which is there's no Razor XP4 turbo, the 4-seater turbo, and there's no back again to the Razor S or the Turbo S. And then the Youth is the same.
Yeah.
So that basically breaks down the lineup of
Polaris
changing their lineup. I mean, 32 machines down to 22. That knocked out, 10 machines, and that Turbo S had to be a top seller.
Yeah.
It had to be, because
and I think it was.
It was the only machine that came with.
I think they sold more of the Turbo S's than they did the Pros.
They probably did. Because Polaris, those two machines, the Turbo S and the Razor Pro, were the only two machines that were putting out the beefier A-arms up front and the beefier radius rods in the rear.
From factory.
You know, and that, you seen BJ's Razor when he first got it.
Right.
It had those skinny little radius rods, and one of them was bent, and he bought it used, but one of them was bent.
But most people, let's be honest, most people will go and buy from Super ATV or wherever.
Yeah,
they'll
and
go
upgrade
buy
everything.
aftermarket anyways.
Right.
So
that's true, but to get from factory something that you don't have to upgrade, that's what I was looking for.
That's one of the things that Can-Am did touch on with the 22 year coming into play.
They did upgrade that, didn't they?
They upgraded their suspension and the frame.
Mm-hmm.
They bolted the frame up.
Yeah, I heard about that. I was sneaking over on your.
You're touching my territory.
Side. Yeah, I had to know what I was up against.
You can come up. You can come on over to the Can-Am side.
That's all right. They improved your ground clearance too, didn't they?
They improved the ground clearance, and even you you touched base, and I've heard you say that Commander, Can-Am Commander,
Ooh,
which they changed that baby up.
If
big
you
time.
haven't seen the Can-Am Commander,
the 22 model,
you're missing out.
It looks sharp.
It is mean looking.
And it comes from factory, snorkeled,
Okay.
with mud tires, from factory, 15-inch clearance, and they just beefed it up all around.
And
Gave it more horsepower, and it just the stance of it.
The stance is.
It's tremendous.
It looks like a monster truck with that stance. Like it looks like one of those toy monster trucks that you bought as a kid.
It's like that
And
one truck that you pull up against to race or something.
Yep.
And you're just like.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you guys haven't seen that Commander yet, if you got a farm or something, or if you like the utility recreational side of it, check out that Commander.
It looks sweet.
It looks mean.
Next question is, will it perform?
Will it? Yeah, that's true. Will it perform?
Because Can-Am did change up their transmission completely
Across the board?
on all their machines.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, so I guess
They
we're
went
going
to
to
that.
find out how that roller...
It's still a Rotax transmission,
Mhm.
which they've been running, but they changed their clutching and all that. It's a totally new system.
It'd be nice if that thing came with a turbo. 1000cc.
Because like the engine that's in mine, I have the trail model,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the engine from the trail model to the X3 series to the Commander. The engine hasn't changed.
Right.
The transmission has.
Okay.
And the gearing, of course, between models is always different anyways.
Yeah. Definitely.
And the horsepower and whatnot. Because of you're not gonna want 200 horsepower on a trail machine.
Yeah. I mean,
You don't need that much horsepower for one, because
what are you really going to do with
a
it?
trail model is a lot lighter than your full-size model.
Yeah.
So 100 horsepower on a trail model is just it's like, and you throw your X3, which has 200 horsepower now,
Yeah.
and then the weight ratio and the difference of that, it really shows like on the Boone race that we did.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back and you look at the races,
Mm-hmm.
I was beating machines that had turbos
Yeah.
and should have been faster than me.
Yeah, but one thing about that, like what I noticed,
But the driver made the difference.
is when that turbo kicked in on my first race, I got sideways
Yes,
because that thing just
it threw you.
it threw me. It didn't really propel me.
Right.
It just broke loose, lost traction, got sideways, and I had to let off.
Right.
So turbo,
It can
it can help you in, it can help you and
But that's
be against you.
You can get into tires and that.
Yeah.
And that all these little things that you can change will affect it all.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're getting off track. I hope you guys are really enjoying this. Please subscribe, hit the like button, all that good stuff. Comment, ask us questions, criticize us. We don't care. We're just
If you want to know something about the machines, just ask.
constructive criticism. We enjoy it. So, and we're just trying to do this for you guys. I think Can-Am took the past year or so, or maybe they've been working on this
I think
clutch.
they're gonna take the market in 22
Okay.
because they up their game,
Mm-hmm.
they up their horsepower,
Yep.
they beefed up their machines.
Someone finally broke 200. I remember hearing a lot of people last year or 2 years ago talking about who's going to break 200 first. Did you see that Polaris electric Ranger?
Didn't know that.
Yeah, electric Ranger. I
Golf
don't know
cart,
about.
Here we come.
Yeah, golf cart, right? When did we get so advanced in side-by-sides that now we're going backwards? Just like you said, Back to the electric golf carts. That's how they started out.
I'm not trying to put down the electric stuff out there.
Okay.
They're doing some good things with it.
It's got its place.
It's got its place. But I don't understand why you'd want an all-electric anything, car, UTV.
Well, one thing with the electric motors is that
if you're out in the woods and your battery goes,
that's it.
You're done.
There's no walking for gas or nothing.
Even carrying a gas can with a couple gallons or 5 gallons, having your buddy go pick you up with some gas, it's not like you're gonna be able to run to Walmart and get a battery for your electric Ranger.
Right, because these aren't car batteries we're talking about.
They're not normal batteries.
Yeah.
And yet, these batteries, I'm sure, are gonna be pricey.
Yeah, and
batteries
are heavy.
Maybe if you're using it on a farm, maybe.
Okay, I can see that. Like your little. Maybe that's why they only did it in the Ranger, because the Ranger is strictly utility
in an area,
Yeah.
and you're not taking it through trails that are swamp or whatever. Yeah. Now, if we're talking about carrying golf cart batteries, I mean, some of them are massive.
Oh yeah.
Massive batteries. And if they're putting that kind of battery in that, you're not gonna be out in the middle of a trail carrying that sucker.
No. Can I get a battery change?
Hey, anybody got a plug-in?
Hey, anybody got a 48-volt outlet? I gotta charge my Ranger.
They're gonna have to have a gas buddy sitting there charging it off their stator.
He's gonna get that farmer's gonna get stuck out in the field, drain the battery trying to get out, and then end up running extension cords from his house. Had to go to Home Depot or whatever.
500 feet.
Pick up 10 more extension cords to go 500 feet to charge it to get it out. Or call someone with a gas Ranger to come get it.
Let's be realistic. The farmer's gonna go get his tractor and tow that sucker back.
Oh man, yeah.
I don't see its application in the world.
I
if you want to buy a glorified Power Wheels for your kids, go buy it.
You know though, the electric Ranger could be good for factory work.
Around
8-hour days.
Around the warehouse?
Yeah, around the warehouse, 8-hour days. Boss man got to drive around, check on everybody. Maybe that's its application.
Could be. Or amusement parks or something like that.
Yeah.
They rent them out.
Yeah. All right, guys. If that cut off real quick, it's because the battery died on the GoPro.
We had to plug in the Ranger.
Yeah, we had to plug in. Yeah, we had to plug in the Ranger. The battery died.
Out in the middle of the field,
Yeah. So we're gonna touch base on the no shows yet for the 2022 that we know of. I mean, we looked it up. We researched it the best we could. We couldn't find anything really.
Nothing new.
Honda's 2021 came out late. Honda's 2020s came out late.
Right.
So I mean, I'm expecting the Honda 2022s to come out a little bit later, but I like Honda.
Honda's a great company.
Great company when it comes to dependability. My oldest boy, he rides a Honda 250 TRX. I'm sure you guys seen it on the channel if you've been following us for a while, and you see it here and there. But I'll tell you what, it rips for a 250 with me on it.
They're pretty much indestructible.
And my boys beat the pee out of a lot of stuff. Like,
right.
Just like their old man. So, Honda though, with its dependability, they came out with the Talon. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, if I'm correct in saying, they started basically engineering it in 2013. So they came out with the first one in 2020, I want to say. And then...
Well, they've had the utility ones for a while.
Okay, they had the utility ones for a while. I really don't follow those that much.
But the Talon didn't come out until, later on.
Yeah. So with Honda, I mean, I bet you that Honda probably has a huge following when it comes to dependability. As you and I were talking earlier, they're in everything. Generators, cars, just boats, all kinds of stuff. But
Honda dabbles in everything.
But one thing I mentioned to Shane is that Honda came out with the Talon, and as Shane loves and I agree with, for mud, it's not CVT.
Well, for mud and hill climbing.
Okay. Yeah.
That drive shaft unit.
Yeah, because you do want a downshift.
It would really shine in the mud world.
Okay, but they're lacking. I feel they're lacking against your top two companies, Can-Am and Polaris.
In the racing world.
And I mean, what do you do? I know what I do, but what do you do when you get your new machine? And Shane had a side by side for a while, and then I did my research and I decided what I want to get, and I got it. And what did I do the first time I come out? Hey, let's race.
we went and ripped it around.
And then I was like, let's drag race. There's not much to it. Straight line. How bad can you screw that up?
Right.
You don't need to know your machine that well, other than just
hit the gas.
But I don't think Honda is there with that. It's non-turboed.
No.
So I think Honda. I wish Honda would come out something with 100%.
I wish they would direct their focus
to be competitive.
One time. They'd only have to do it for 1 year.
Yeah.
And they could really make that Honda Talon shine.
It looks good.
It sounds good. And I think it would really shine the competition with that.
It'd be nice to see.
And it'd be a standalone machine because your CVTs are not going to stand against it.
And so from my understanding is, like, you can put it in automatic.
You can go
or
manual.
Paddle shift.
Manual, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean that's
our stand on Honda.
That's our stand on Honda. Like, we want to see them come out
and give them
showing 110%, giving Can-Am and Polaris a run for the money. What's another one?
Yamaha.
What do they got?
They got the YXZ.
Not out yet. The 2022 is not out yet.
But
what do you want to see from them?
I'd like to see Yamaha come out and really give Can-Am and Polaris a run too.
Where do you think they stand? Where do you think they shine now?
They do have the manual.
Okay.
Like Honda. They do have the
Is
clutch.
it CVT or?
It's CVT though.
Okay.
It's a CVT but manual shifting.
Okay.
That's one of the biggest differences between Yamaha and Can-Am and the Polaris.
Mm-hmm.
I'd really like to see them come out and
really give something to
it. I mean, I own the older Yamahas.
Okay.
My Yamaha Big Bear is 2008. I think they stopped making it in 2015.
That thing's still kicking strong.
And it's still kicking strong. It was a drive shaft unit. In 2016, I believe, they went all to CVT.
Oh, you don't like CVT.
I'm not a big belt
ATV.
guy.
No.
I've never been a big belt guy, and that's one of the things that I've always given you crap on the Polaris.
Yep. And when it comes to ATVs, Shane shifts.
I do shift.
And he likes it, and I can see where he likes it. But we're both mud guys. I like to really dive in at 100 miles an hour, and Shane likes to just stay clean and just putt through and really let the machine do the work.
Right, but
CVTs can't do that. The belt slips when you stop.
You're never guaranteed, even with a snorkeled machine.
Belt wet. Yeah.
You get a belt wet, you're done.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that one oops.
We've seen it time and time again on our side-by-sides.
It's happened to me.
On the side-by-sides, on the on your
On my
ATV.
machine, yeah.
Where your belt's wet, you're done.
Yep. For
Until
a
you
good 10, 15 minutes.
until you drain it and you get it dried out
Right.
and whatnot. I would like to see Yamaha go back to their roots.
Okay. So you want to see Yamaha go back to the roots of shaft driven?
I'd like to see at least give the option.
Yeah, because right now the only one that gives that option
Is Honda.
is Honda. So yeah, let's. All right, so
I would like Yamaha.
let's get out of the CVT. Yamaha.
And they can still keep their CVT units. Their Grizzly's great unit.
Okay.
Great powerful unit. And I think Honda and Yamaha and Suzuki, I think they target more of the farming aspect. I'd like them to gear up and come towards our side of the
Fast.
guys that go to ride on weekends. Weekend warriors.
Weekend warriors. Good way of putting it.
Weekend warriors that want to just go out and really ride the machine and let the machine show them what it can do.
Okay.
And I think Yamaha and Honda and Suzuki, I'd really like to see them come out with a side by side. They got
That'd be nice.
They got the dirt bikes, they got the ATVs. Why not build a side by side?
Missing a piece of the market right there.
They're missing a piece of the market. Why not dabble in it?
Yeah.
I think they could really produce a machine.
Okay.
I've had a few Suzuki's.
There's one more boy that we're leaving out that we need to touch
There's
on.
one big boy that's
Him and I
that's
both
been around for a long time.
And him and I just we did a little research on it, and they don't have their 2022 lineup out yet, but we were looking at the 2021 lineup and what they had to offer, and a few inputs on it, and that's Kawasaki. Okay, so they're side by side.
Great unit.
Great unit. Has its
Very
downfalls,
dependable.
though. Dependable. I agree.
Solid machine.
Solid machine. Suspension, they put a lot of work in the suspension from what I understand.
Yeah, very comfortable ride.
But where's it lacking?
Power.
1000cc, no turbo.
You might as well be in an 800.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to see it out on the racetrack.
No, you don't see them on the race in the racing.
You see it.
And you don't really see them out in the mud.
No.
When we were in Sagi, we didn't see.
No,
I don't think we've seen one Kawasaki.
I don't think I've seen a Kawasaki in person at all. Have you?
Their mules are very well known for the farming. I know
Mules? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you get the mules and everything, but
that. In the farming world.
yeah. But in the race world.
But their T-Rexes, you
Any,
don't see them out there.
any of you guys seen a Kawasaki out in the race world? Just wondering.
Not the dirt bikes, because they are
Not
there.
the dirt bikes. We're talking about side by side.
ATVs.
No,
They're brute force. They're
the side by side of it. Like
Their brute forces are a good machine.
yeah,
Let's
But-
see them step it up in the side by side world.
yeah. Let us know in the comments if you guys have seen a racing Kawasaki
Or even
in a
mudding
race
one. Or a mudding one.
or a mudding one.
I have not seen one play in the mud.
So, but Honda, no turbo. Kawasaki, no turbo.
Yamaha.
Yamaha,
Yeah.
no turbo.
And they could, I mean, it'd be awesome to see all three of them step up. Suzuki. Make a side by side.
Yeah. Hey, Honda, Kawasaki, Yamaha, where's your turbos? Where are your turbos?
Did you forget?
Come on, did you forget?
Did you forget?
What you guys?
Where are we at?
Yeah. Come on, guys.
Let's step it up.
What Can-Am and Polaris cannot just
You're giving
run the
them,
block without you. Come on. I hope you guys appreciated
or banter.
our banter. I'm a Polaris guy. Happy to switch to Honda. Give me that turbo.
Yeah, give me Kawasaki. Give me a turbo.
Yeah, there you go. Then, hey, next year if they ever get turbo, it'll be Honda against Kawasaki, and you know. So guys, make sure to hit the subscribe, like button, like Shane said, and you know,
keep the wheels turning.
Yep. Ride safe.
Keep us going.
Yeah, please keep us going. Get us started.
Yeah,
get us started. You know, we're doing this all on our own dime.
We're trying to get up there.
Yeah. We want to.
Mad shout out to all you guys that have subscribed.
Yes, thank you for subscribing.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
watching our videos.
We appreciate you.
Share it. Let your friends know about it. If you see us, come up, talk to us. We'll be at the side-by-side show in Dayton, Iowa. We hit the trails around Iowa right now.
To all you guys that are out of state, send us an invite.
Yeah, send us an invite. Let us know of a trail we
want to go. We want to go everywhere. We want to ride at all the places.
Yeah, cross country. That's what we want to do.
Don't be afraid to give us a shout.
All right, guys. Ride safe and take care.
Later.